afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from me, host Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero, like Defender of the Fatherland, of an exciting 2 vs 2 on Vaux Farmlands. Between the West we got here Company of Losers and HDR Bosun. We'll just call them HDR. Fighting here for the Oberkommand West, both of them. Germany, Deutschland forming up the 107th Panzer Brigade, counter-attacking the Brits. Here under the command of Current and Pop, forming up the Guards Armoured Division as they're making their way towards Nijmegen. We got Commando, Vanguard, Royal Engineers, and Special Weapons here for the Mature Infantry versus Fortifications, Spare Corps, Breakthrough, and Luftwaffe. For the Oberkommandos, a double infantry for them, light infantry gun, and a King Tiger Bulletin. Brits heading towards the centre in the north. So far here, but looks at it, aggressively setting in with a section there, double section, but looks at no, actually Universal carried out for Current. Oberkommand West for the Full Grenadiers and Kugelwagens setting out there. Company of Losers setting in very hard for the south and very hard for the north here, similarly with HDR, Sturmpioneer spearheading the way, moving in to disrupt the British early movements and try and contest the few points as aggressively as possible, then connect with other units. Definitely a good way to start up with the Oberkommand West on this map. What we got here, Current seeing through this, or at least foreseeing such a turn of events, and actually getting out of Universal Care to help punish the Sturmpioneer in the early game. You can see the HDR running for the house nearby to sort of try and contest that and at least sort of force the Brits to have to at least tie up units dealing with it, since otherwise you're risking just hitting their car forts, getting behind some other units. Pop, though, focusing on the centre there. He's not going to go for the southern fuel port, allowing the German player down there, Company Losers, to secure it. But of course, on the other hand, it also means Pop is more able to support Current than Company Losers support HDR. So in that regard, there's certainly some potential there for Pop and Current, and giving HDR a really hard time until Company Losers begins more successfully moving in from the south. Then south is sending in his force gun is Kugelwagen, not the Sturmpioneers, towards the centre there, since you anticipate the fighting there. Baker setting up their sandbags being dug in and by Pop. Universal Care continue to keep the Sturmpioneers. I feel like our Fultzman charging north, engaging the section there with heavy firepower, pushing back the unfortunate Tommies. With the second moving in against the Sturmpioneer. Shots fired, bit up between the window here. A few bursts here and there. Meanwhile, Company there switching in for the south now more aggressively, with more Fultzers on the way, and we got a truck out there. That's going to be a battle group headquarters being set up. I'm actually close to the centre of the village here, and allowing them to control the field that way a bit more aggressively. Sturmpioneers being pushed out of the house here. Fultzers there moving in. We got Pop there to go switching in support Current in the north with the section. At the same time as keeping the centre guarded there, as we can see now, Company Losers is finally realising what's going on, then shifting force here. Sturmpioneers here taking heavy fire, need to retreat soon, otherwise risk losing them. Sturmpioneer holding the section at bay there. And yeah, we can see the battle group here, of course, being set up here. Matching pretty close here. Matching was set up right in the orchard. Either way, he's going to try and solve that with just set up a very aggressive fort presence and can also support his teammate if necessary. North Fultz for Kenner from to help assist him with the Universal Carrier. Fultz Sturmpioneers being overwhelmed by British numbers. Need to retreat that squad there before it gets wiped out. Fulters moving from the north. Have yet to connect the fuel plant. At least it's there, so they will at least slow down the British capture of it. Battle Group headquarters sitting up here in the fields west of the centre village. And they got the Universal Care there. They're getting enough a hit, but overall, too many British troops are swarming in towards the north here, forcing HDR to abandon. Meanwhile, in the centre, folks are pushing ahead here in the south. We got Sturmpioneers fixed up. The Kugelwagen can also lay down some mines to make it hard to rush for the southern fuel section moving in. Then we got 3 sections with the Sapper section away there for Pop. Current's got 3 sections and a Vickers. Company of Losers with 2 full Sturmpioneers, Kugelwagen, HDR with 3 full Sturmpioneers and a Kettenwerfer. Almost done with that one. Yeah, he laid down mines there. I'm guessing HDR will maybe try and aim for a mechanised wreck, push out some light vehicles to put some pressure on the Tommies here. Trenches going up here, and could also lay down some sandbags or trench to help defend the northern fuel point. Both Brits have teched up. So far, though, no immediate tech turrets was made within the platoon command post, though. No buffers or AECs. Light infantry on the way to the company. Probably anticipating his opponent's going to be digging in hard around here, in which case light infantry gun is going to be a very good choice. Also, if the Brits decide to go for emplacements, the light infantry gun tends to be sort of one of your better options as the Oberkommand West in dealing with them. Mines being laid down here before heading southwards. So no minesweepers there for Pop. There you go, section being engaged by the Fultz Grenadier. With no grenades, though, those section members are going to be overwhelmed. We got another section member there also depleted. We got the Vickers setting up for Current support Pop section. Very good work there. Bunham going out off in the section there, burning them away. And we can see here that HCR is preparing for a big assault in towards the north here. Troops being pushed back. A light infantry bombarding, almost taking the section members there. Need to be careful, need to be very careful. Pop could risk overextending and causing himself some needless losses. Troops hanging about here, defending the center further. No players yet to use a drop and go cool, but I'm trying to flank behind. We're taking too much fire there from the Tommies, getting rather focused down, and there's also fire in this direction, so overall the Germans are struggling a bit here with the British position here, and that's going to be a quick loss of the Kuhwagen there. 4th Company was going for 2nd light infantry guns, so 1 and 7th Panzer Brigade has apparently been able to sneak in some artillery from a nearby infantry division, since a Panzer Brigade will not have access to light infantry guns. The only artillery barrel in a Panzer Brigade would have access to would have been mortar half-tracks and the Stuka zu Fuss. Little fun fact there about Panzer Brigades. They were not heavy in artillery, since they were basically sort of designed to counterattack Soviet armoured spearheads and sort of break them off. And in that regards, they didn't need that much artillery except what was sort of light and sort of self-propelled. As it turned out, that was less amazing than Western armoured formations, which is where most of the Panzer Brigades were employed, by the way. Sections, remember, they're getting shredded up by assault rifles up close here. Going to go on the northern point there, dug in with sandbags, but there you go, popping the southern fuel point. 2nd Leicht's Infanterie shoots, they're ready for company of losers. Grabbing the harsh north of the victory point there, and here the trench is proving to be a bit of an optimum point there for the Germans, but they will have it soon cleared out for any of those British Ratten. And there we go, it is the mechanised regular there for HDR, Leichte Aufklärungspanzer. No sign of AC, so either British player, they're going for anti-tank guns. It's a bit more of a tricky sort of choice on a map like this because it's so wide and open, and the tank guns will require a lot more foresight in setting up. They also can easily be outmaneuvered and destroyed, and they can also have a harder time reacting. So on a map like this, an armoured car like the AC just gains so much more worth because it can so much more easily react and sort of shift of route depending on the needs of the map. A forward assembly bar here by Kern, an interesting setup there. I suppose a bit of a counterweight here to the battle group headquarters. Meanwhile, looks rolling through here the northern fields. We got 1 anti-tank gun ready here, and that is for Popcorn, has got none. Nor does he have weapon max researched, so he can't actually grab any Bren guns. Despite there's technically one there out in the open, I guess that's a bit the Fury problem. Visually there's a lot, but for some reason there's actually not. Bloody Brad Pitt stealing away all over machine guns again. But there you go, Luke's moving in there. Apparently not anticipating the map with 6 pounder gun. The 6 pounder gun was actually sitting around them. Not entirely sure what Pop was doing, but that's giving the Luke some more time to sort of blast with the British troops. Sturmpine engaging so on the fort assembly there. They can't immediately remove it, but they can certainly put some pressure on it. Still no sign of that. Oh, yeah, it's gone for it now. He can at Pietz, and there you go. Right, point blank there. Double Pietz on the Looks, taking it down to less than half health here. We could see the Looks there being taken up by the Pietz here. Punishing the HDR for perhaps a bit of overconfidence. And there we go. Looks with a sliver of health. Oh! 6 pounder gun managed to hit the hedges right in front of it. Looked at away. Just barely operable. Barely operable at all. That was really close there. But nice move there by Current. Catching off guard there with the Pietz and almost taking it out there. But it will be back again. In the meanwhile there, Germans solidifying the control of the centre here. The one in centre, the Panzer Brigade does not let go. Got the Looks there back. It's going to need them to jump punch repair. Got a single cannon out there for HDR. Company though is going for another track. That'll be a Schwer Panzer quarters. He'll set it up around the battle group headquarters to cover that one. Tends to be a very common Oberkommando-based tactic. Infantry though threatening here around the light infantry guns for machine gun there up in the shed to defend it, making it harder for the British to rush it. In the south, harassment going on. They're going to hit back the fuel point there. That was certainly switching around a bit between these two sides. And we got another trench being dug up here right next to the fort assembly. Vickers machine guns moving up. That Pietz advancing, but no Bren guns for Current's infantry. Just Pietz so far. Not any grenades. And we are almost at the 10-minute mark, and no player has yet to choose a doctrine. The south almost got the victory point. Overall, actually pretty close between the 468 versus 470. Section being engaged for Fultz Grenadiers. Germans actually now got most of the map. The British are a bit less in control of the map. Actually, the north is actually, if you look at it, quite open right now. So in theory, a bit of harassment there could do wonders for the British. Pop shaking ahead already. They're going to try and push out some medium armour. Might be near then for trying to maybe go for an armoured car to sort of stiffen things up, or he could lay down some fuel caches to support his teammate then pushing out, say, a Centaur or a Cromwell tank as fast as possible. Almost getting the big machine gun there. Oh, gets away. Pretty close there for HDR that he lost his Maschinengewehr. And here in the south also there's a section of assault rifles, Carnot TKs. This is the Lee Enfields, and there you go, Brandenham gun out off, doing some damage, forcing away those verdammte Inselaffen. And there you go, almost got a section wiped here in the centre, lightning guns there, promising pain, destruction, and Germany. More troops being sent southwards there. Schwab Hunter quarters arm up there for company. HDR has yet to move ahead for anything like that. But we got the first doctrine, and it is spare cops here for company, opening up for infiltration tactics, assault rifles for his Obersoldaten, and of course Command Panthers, though I hope it's going to push out Panther 4 as soon as possible, because that's going to have a much bigger impact on the British than a Command Panther. Obviously a faster impact as well, and obviously that's the bigger impact. Plus, Obersoldaten with for Sturmgewehrs wouldn't be a half-bad choice either. Would help deny the Brits some of their cover advantages by making the cover less effective for them. But there you go, Savs in the south have been cut down. One man left to defend himself with a minesweeper. Yeah, he thinks those minesweepers are so awesome against German bullets. I don't think so, I just think he didn't have a weapon. Let me just make fun of the British for being stupid, alright? Why do you have to ruin everything? It's always like this with you. North there looks pushing back the Tommies as they did harass the northern fuel point there. Brits, I think, need to gear up an arm and maybe some vehicles and try, you know, I think larger sort of assault. They either try to push for the north or for the south, and they just would keep fighting for the centre. There's a high risk of grinding themselves down, plus they give the Germans a lot of fuel. So I think they need to put more emphasis on, again, the sides there rather than just Stalingradding themselves into the centre. We got some flares down here for company, spotting out the British positions. Closing in the tank there for Pop. Current, though, bursting his sections, but no sign of armour for him. Till he called in around the battle group headquarters. Troops are otherwise running some serious jobs over the Germans with assault rifles. Definitely something to be careful of. Up north, we can see currently they're trying to make a breakthrough. Attempted actually succeeding here. HDR's forces are not concentrated off of what the ones are there, are easy targets here, as Current just launches a mass infantry assault. They were calling his past as an infantry officer at the Somme, and apparently suffering a bit from neglectfulness and how it otherwise resulted in, but so far is having great success. I'm sure even now Current is sort of blowing into this little whistle as they go out of his imaginary trench. Anyways, up here, troops encountering more resistance from the Germans as HCR's remaining forces are there to sort of contest. We got a Schwab Hunted quarters up here. Follow to the sapper section. Do we have any grenades up for Pop? We do not. Just getting closer to the tanks. Current is also taking up now. Now the British players consider fuel cache, which are really doing a lot of good as the Germans are just being hit there fast for armour. Company could right now build out a Panzer 4. I would definitely suggest them just pushing out some medium armour as fast as possible. Going for a regular Panther. Command Panther or King Tiger right now would be a big mistake. HCR going for Obersoldaten. I do not think Company of those bothering with those so far. So Current's breakout attempt is so far having some success. There's the looks they're ready to throw a wrench into the works. The south small attempt here by Pop, but he's also the one more focused in the centre of the map here. Centre on the way there for Pop. Current is yet to go for anything, and if Company loses, then of course it's not playing for, say, a Panther or Panzer 4, but a Command Panther King Tiger. That's definitely going to be some great times there for the centre. Right here, the samples out in the open versus the looks a bit risky. Also, with the machine gun around there. Still, that does enough damage there to cause HDR to fall back further. His northern position is overall not very well defended. I mean, in its essence, if he's just going to dig in, he could easily have gone either for Luftwaffe and his heavy fortifications with trenches, or he could go for fortifications with field defences. You know, lay down some bunkers and S-mines. So it made it a lot harder there for Current to break through that easily. So there we go, machine gun wipe. HCR there, I think he's making a few mistakes. So of course, Company is also, I mean, had he had a Panzer 4 available now, he could easily have just done a lot more damage from them back. So both German players here feel like they're slacking a bit off. They might be getting a bit too overconfident. Oh, there we go. Never mind. There's a Panther on the way there for Company of Losers. Panzerkampfwagen 5. all of a sudden they almost ripped to shreds in a matter of seconds by the double sections. It's despite being in light cover. And despite having a light machine gun that didn't quite come into play right away. Still quite a brutal loss there for HDR. That is Fallen Man, plus 60 munitions gone in the blink of an eye. Centre heading southwards. Also brief pause here as we got a cat brick coming on. The cat wants to get in. There we go. Cat is in. I repeat, the cat is in. Centre there watching the southern road as British infantry moves in. And the centre pop keeps up a brave fight there versus company. And up north we got forces streaming forwards. Brits there on a full retreat to the forward assembly. No Bren guns yet though for any of Karen's men. He's got plenty of munitions for it, so it's a bit of a surprise there. Centre not moving into support in the south. We got artillery running in though somewhere, and we got a Yak Panzer for HDR. So both players are not sort of readying up for the biggest, at least not for now. Very good work. Company's Panther's out. He's going forward on as well, so good. Needs to retreat the machine gun forward. SWAT needs to get the Panther down there with some infantry support. Oh dear, he's going to lose. He's not retreating it in time. He is not retreating in time. There you go. MG-34 wiped out here. Mines laid down there by Pop. Very good. Panther getting the centre. Direct hit with his high velocity send firing with the gun. And oh, he's going to move straight into the mines. Thankfully, there's no way for, at least for company losers, to get immediately punished with this Panther. But still, the centre's going to be able to get away here. Up north, the Count has been able to reclaim the point. We got a bunker going down there. He did go for fortifications just a bit late here. Just a bit late. No replacement Obersalon so far. He might not feel quite keen on it, having lost the first Obersalon squad recently to just 2 sections unupgraded. Grab the centre victory point there with a section. Panther's going to need some emergency repairs from the Sturmpioneer. Infantry Sturmgewehr for the Obersalon double line for guns there, crushing the cover and the sections, and almost got the infantry Sturmgewehr ready here. Quick get up there, quick get up there, goes centre arrives, and problem for company losers right now is he has no counters to it. Almost losing a foot, going to score. There we go, wiped. That centre is quickly becoming quite handy for the Brits. Panther good to go, moving towards the centre. Yak Panzer moving the same way there. And in fact, a Yak Panzer and Panthers would have been, well, the primary equipment or armour for any Panzer Brigade. Later series, as they began running out of Panthers, at least, you know, because also getting to the Panzer Divisions, were equipped with Panzer Forces as well, but like the early ones, including the 1 and 7th, were equipped pretty much with Panthers and Yak Panzers. Not to well move there with the Yak Panzer, almost taking down to half health. In fact, was taking down there, almost lost. We've got Morbison out here for HDR, hopefully doing a bit better than the first one. Into the sort to the south here. But more orbs on here for company of the losers. Sehr good. Current here with a centre as well. What the devil? Not a single Firefly Cromwell. Both British players are going for centres. That's a first. That is very much a first. Panther supporting the infantry in the south. North is now largely British. And the bunker there was easily cleared out since it wasn't actually that well placed out. Moving in the looks of support here. Artillery raining down the centre. Hopes on their push back. Need to be a bit careful with them there. Need to pull the other squad back. He's moving straight into the artillery zone. Pretty risky there by company of losers. There goes Center ramming trouble. You got the Yakpan ready to support, and there go wipe by the artillery retreat. Yeah, Company loses. You're not send the Orbison in there. Got me Steel Pioneers scored right as well, I think, for HDR. Some nasty losses from the Germans as wipes are suddenly piling up pretty heavily there. Now again, the Orbison score was very much on the Company of losers. That was just poor tactics. More flares from Company. The South Steel Pioneers laying down resources or mines there. Expending resources, obviously. More Steel Pioneers for HCR. And then going straight for the centre. Penetrating hit their head on from a 6-pounder gun. Large chunk of full gun these. I don't think they should be attacking head on. I think you should do a bit like how the Brits did it, attack the northern fields, so they'll try to flank around instead of just trying to bash through the centre. I think that would have much better luck for the Germans. Current, by the way, floating a lot of manpower currently. Ha ha ha. Not doing anything with it. Similarly, also a lot of munitions. Line of guns, they're punishing the blobbed up sections there. Yak Panther moving in. Panther shooting. None of them really hit their marks. Orbs on the flank from the south almost got the anti-tank on there. Panther is taking heavy damage. Need to be careful. There you go. Fulton moving ahead. There we go. Almost got the centre. Could seal the anti-tank as well. We got another centre covering the first centre. Still an anti-tank in their section moving in. Orbs on need to retreat. More orbs on there for Company of losers. More flares. Jack Panther falling back down to tank gun fire. The almost not claimed. Panther pulling back here for repairs. South there we got a bit of sneaking up. They're hitting up behind the Brits there. Good work by Company. Repair parties from the Mechanized Regiment. That's a good choice. That is a good choice. Light infantry guns are definitely having an impact there for the Germans, blasting out the Brits in particular since they are moving in within the fields east and also bunching up, which overall means the light infantry guns are more likely to actually have an impact by actually killing stuff. So in this regard, the Brits' infantry tactics are paying off for the light infantry guns. Change to the north, then counting the Shroud Punted quarters, they've gone out to tank gun setting up supporting. That's not a Kednev actually. Gonna need to support in there with some troops fast. But it might be that HG are a bit too committed to fighting here in the centre, so they can't immediately sort of afford it. Still, those double centres are paying off for the Brits in a way I did not anticipate it. HG could go for a Panther 4, Company which could soon go for another Panther. He could also be planning a Command Panther, or I suppose they could start get greedy and try aim for a King Tiger. In fact, they could both go for King Tigers, though that would be rather greedy. I think HCR they should consider maybe a pack for the feet to help around the centre, or a howitzer. Some serious artillery that could also put some serious pressure on the Brits, in particular around here, and howitzer just bombarding this area could make this much more dangerous and result in some wipes. So that definitely not be a bad idea to consider for HDR. I mean, he has gone for fortifications, so I mean, using some of its more offensive elements would be a good idea. Firefly though on the way there for Current. Pop has yet to commit to anything. Current has gone for Vanguard, leaving only now Pop without a doctrine. The Baldelandung blowing apart a tree, but no Brits. Now the attack here on the Shroud Punted quarters, need to clear that out swiftly. Morton plays up here for Pop to carry around the centre. That could be a good target for light infantry guns or howitzer if HCR were to go for it. He's certainly for a lot of manpower now, so it might be he's planning the lightest Feldhaubitz, which to blast those British into dust and ashes. Kept demanding a bit of attention there, it seems. Troops fighting around, so we got Samax again across the remnants of the dirt road there, having been pummeled into submission by British firepower. Centre moving in there. Swinging as more Germans, but there you go. Panther moves in, gets a good hit there. Veterans who won by the way. Up north, Centre there, current got a Firefly providing supporting fire there with its 17-pounder gun. Panther taking a direct hit. Orbs on there, shredding the Tommies out in the open. Artillery they're called in on the Folks Grenadiers sandbag position section. Right, actually a bit of loss there for Pop, leaving him with no ways of calling in artillery without replacing them. Can't though, got none at all. Also need to retreat, but they should probably try and go for a slightly safer route, but they have to get out of this soon before they get wiped one way or the other. They're gonna get wiped. Too slow to retreat. Too slow to retreat. Trot on the way there for company, so he might be playing for King Tiger now. And there you go, the HCR has gone for a howitzer, or he's going forward, so he can soon win some heavy artillery there. This is the British applying some more serious pain. Brits still continue to linger around from the double light infantry guns, taking losses from that. And anti-tank guns are creeping forward as well. That's definitely going to be, I think, a good priority target there for HCR's artillery. You could also consider steering artillery, and oh, the looks went down, taken up with the anti-tank guns. Kaput. And we got a second mortar placement, this time though for Cairns. Now the British really beginning to bring into the artillery. Both Pop and Cairns now have gone for Vanguard though. They could easily benefit from much sooner. You know, some earlier commanders, for example, could have done a lot for them. So, feels a bit on the weaker side there. Troops in the centre getting obliterated by all of the mortar fire the British are now bringing in. I definitely think the Germans should put more effort on the northern fuel and victory points here and sort of try to sneak around rather than just keep grinding out in the centre, because with all the artillery the British is now bringing to bear around the centre victory point, I mean, just any protected fighting around the Germans is just going to be a complete waste of troops. I mean, they're just going to have a horrible rate of survival because there's just been all these mortar rounds going down all the time. We got seeing artillery, we got air support called in. The problem is, of course, you still need line of sight for steering artillery to work, so if they're not able to see anything, it's not going to matter too much. There we go, getting some hits. Apparently, neither Pop or Kern is paying attention to what's going on here. It's also so far not being frightfully accurate. I mean, there's the section standing about there, just not getting blasted at all. Bit weirdly enough. But again, you need the line of sight there, otherwise, I mean, seeing until it's just the 3 munitions just down the drain, and that was apparently what's ended up being there for him. That's just quite a waste there, to be honest, quite a waste. Sabre's getting blasted. Company there, he's clearly aiming for the King Tiger. That's going to take a bit longer to get there. As for HCR, who knows what he's planning there, but there certainly seems to be indications of a King Tiger as well. Brits are slowly making progress further, edging out the German positions and gaining ground, getting closer to Germany. More orbs on there for company boosters. He's certainly suffering from heavy loss again. Part of it's just all of this point is fighting, and there's just so much artillery raining down. There's some artillery there flying away. Looks like they've been able to take out the southern mortar plate. Almost done as well, so that's good. They're beginning to make the centre a bit more fightable around there. Go Panther going here for the centre. Almost got it. Almost got 82 on the Panther as well. There we go. Virtually 2 shots and up for the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Jagd Panther following in. He's almost got Pop Centaur. I think he's playing for Crocodile though. And there goes Centaur kaput. Artillery firing down here on the machine gun is a tank, and more importantly though, the mortar emplacement. And it goes 6-pounder anti-tank gun destroyed. Mortar emplacement kaput as well. Firefly there for Pop now, so he's not going for the Centaur all of a sudden. Very interesting that. A bit curious. Very curious. Huge blow up there, but both British players almost seem to be intentionally blocking up. The light guns are shifting about. They don't have any need for counter. They've got a lot of grenades being thrown around here, trying to catch as many as they can. Almost getting like Kedden over there. Panther again shoots at the Centaur, misses. Fortunately, they're being shredded in a matter of moments. I think he actually used strafing fire. Yes, indeed, he used the 20mm strafing fire, but it's actually a really good ability there. He just can absolutely destroy infantry. Just so rarely utilised by most British players, but it's absolutely insane. In particular, if they actually bunch up the troops a bit, it just becomes bonkers. Air support called in again. Panther falling back. Quickly being knocked out here. Piet's firing at it. Oh dear. Pathing seems to be screwing up for the Panther. Needs a blitzkrieg. There we go. Build as much distance as he can. Get the scheisse out of there. Out of firing here. I think trying to break up the British assault there. And there you go, we got a King Tiger, 4 company of losers. Panther's going to need repairs, he's got repair pioneers up, then his mechanized regiment. And I think HDR is also going to go for King Tiger. So in a few moments here, around the 30-minute mark, both Oberkommando players will have gone for King Tigers. That'll be a lot of heavy armor they've called onto the field. At the very least, he could drop to his teammates' mechanized regiment to maybe get his Panther fixed up there, because he should really want his Vetchny 2 Panther back in action as soon as possible. Out almost good to go again so far. 16 kills for Deutschland. Both Oberkommandos players are looking a bit weaker in the infantry department, whereas the Allies are only growing stronger. King Tiger up in the section there, misses spectacularly. HDR, keeps delaying because it's reinforcing troops. Company have finally got some repair pioneers up for his Panther, his Panzer Kampfwagen 5. British, they're looking pretty strong at the moment. Very dug in, we got more Fireflies and they're in the sight of the first King Tiger. HDR though, keeps delaying. Clever idea would actually been setting up both the mechanized regiments close to each other so they could have both repair pioneers be able to coordinate efforts, by the way. That would be a clever idea, I think. Infantry guns bringing up both Vet 24 by the way, close to Vet 25, another section there for current. Guards armor is making good on the time schedule for once. Firefly shoots at the King Tiger, shot bounce. King Tiger shoots back, wipe support. Chap out there. Yak Panther supporting. Panther halfway fixed up. HDR they're going for King Tiger zone. So again, we're looking now at 2 King Tigers, ladies and gentlemen. 2 King Tigers. Sam's there spamming up alongside the Firefly there. We're blobbing up, going for the Yak Panther there. King Tiger being flanked. Need to be careful. There you go, getting hit with tulip rockets. He's getting support here. Panther there. King Tiger going down to half health from the Piets. Need support, he needs to fall back with the King Tiger, the Königstiger Firefly flanking. Need to get the Panther in there as soon as possible. Need to pull back the King Tiger as soon as possible. Units wiped out here, looking pretty bad there for HDR. Yep, there goes moving in the Panther to cover it in case it decides to pursue. Other King Tiger moving ahead there for the fatherland. Keeps on focusing on the centre, though. Really think needs to sort of focus around the other side of the map. There you go, Panther moving in. Gates of section. Should allow to only fight vehicles. Oh wait, cutting down some Tommies there with his machine guns. King Tiger almost wiping a section out there. King Tiger's doing repairs, almost on reinforcing. Double Fireflies there for current. Pop it's going for Centaur again. Interesting enough, neither say going for Comets or Churchills or even Crocodiles. Cromwell's a bit curious there, but so far it seems to be working out there. Panther halfway to Vet 73. King Tiger halfway fixed up. Other King Tiger there hanging back. Yak Panzer with Königstiger moving in, and again, folks in the centre do feel like they've gone a bit Stalingrad here, which is definitely not to their favour. Even though they did manage to silence all the mortar emplacements, they're neglecting the victory points and the fuel points. Panther group moving back. King Tiger almost ready here for company of losers. Continue to fire around the Ford assembly to finally put that one out of its misery. Panther advancing with infantry going for the cutoff point. Seems to do something there, counter-attack by the looks of it. Need to get the King Tiger down to support. Other King Tiger not supporting, he just hanging back with the Yak Panzer. There you go, Yak Panzer on the Centaur. Sam's getting blasted with the King Tiger. Firefly opens up, misses. Centaur down to half, there go. Rockets fired. P8s flying at the King Tiger. Some penetrating, most not. Artillery running down there. In the south, the Panther engaged, need to fall back, need to get the King Tiger down there, but the King Tiger's going to support the other King Tiger around the centre. Looks like he decides against it. Panther falling back. Orbs on there, about to get wiped out. Not enough support there to cover a retreat path there. But unfortunate for Company loses another Orbs squad wiped. He's in fact down to just one infantry squad. He might just have to go for a bunch of folks to make up for the losses here. But he definitely needs more than one infantry squad and two infantry guns to work with his tanks. HCR falling back from the centre here. Again, they overall need to attack elsewhere. I mean, they're just taking head on into the Fireflies. The Fireflies can be a lot stronger. I mean, the thing to mark with Fireflies is they start out with a pretty weak turret rotation. So if you sort of outmaneuver them, they tend to not fare too well initially. Stu and Pioneer for Company of Losers. One on the 7th Panzer Brigade seems to be stalling out here. Bunker up to defend the centre. King Tiger halfway fixed. Panther sending out again on its own. Panther flanked here by Firefly, hiding on the road. There you go, machine gun back up to defend the centre. North of the British are slightly pressing the Germans there. Steel Panzer ready to assist with repairs on the King Tiger and the Panther. We'll definitely try and get those back in action together. Yak Panzer's gained 82's got Schützen up. Germans are down to 152 points versus the 335 of the British. Strength machine gun banker there suppressed. 100 points left for the Oberkommando West for the 107th Panzer Brigade. In the north, Sturmpioneers on the lonesome mission. Run straight to the MD-34 there and subsection members. Specialty 5 on both light infantry guns. Howitzer seems to... Oh, there you go, about to sound off again. Both King Tigers converting towards an attack here through the southern parts of the village. Section they're getting blasted, almost wiped out in fact. Double King Tigers. Firefly opens up though. Airstrike called in, almost got the centre. Oh, Yak Panther shoot misses, but still does some damage. Fireflies moving in. King Tigers falling back. We got artillery raiding down there. We got, I believe, it's Pop there with airburst shells. Actually stands up. They got the Panther going for the Firefly there. Shoots, penetrates. Close 33, but falling back. Both Fireflies moving in. Artillery there hitting on them. Aircraft shot down there by the anti-aircraft guns of the Schwerer Panzer quarters. Panther in the game, the Fireflies. Yak Panther hits from the rockets head on, but the Panther goes in. They might be able to get more damage. One there. Gets it. Gets it. Almost 53 there. Centaur goes down to line gunshot. There we go. Another Firefly flanking the Panther. They came in front. Needs to blitzkrieg and get out of there if possible. King Tiger Moon supported by the Yak Panther. Total pandemonium. Another bout of air support called in. And there we go. Easily shot down by the Schwer anti-aircraft guns despite the Germans' complaints. My God, those allies. If only we didn't have our anti-aircraft guns, they might be effective. Oh, Jürgen, you're so funny. Well, overall, British air support I think was reasonably effective because they acted designed for it. The funny thing about American air support was they pretty much preferred the anti-aircraft role themselves, and most of the aircraft weren't trained in dealing with what were designed for it. So, generally, American air support was less effective in dealing with the German ground elements. Unless, like, things were really favourable. That's a fun note. King Tiger in there, gets good in the section. Veterans 1-8 kills. Panther close to Veterans 3. But they really need to stop focusing everything on the centre. They need to get some of the other points. So they're down to 68. King Tiger at half health. Panther good to go more or less here for Company of Losers. Are we sending this King Tiger zone? They're pretty risky work there by Company of Losers, to be honest. He's got no idea what's waiting him. Mine goes off on the Obersoldaten. Artillery raining down. On the British base, we've got a glider out there from Pop. Turning to the south.
The enemy is trying to overrun our HQ.
He lost another Obersoldaten squad. He keeps throwing them away, to be honest. Not too good for him. Panther there hit a mine. I'm surprised by neither of the Oberkommandos players at any point bothered with minesweepers. Like, they apparently had never considered the mines to be an issue, despite, you know, losing actually quite a few units to them. Section right, but the southern victory point now, the centre one being attacked, like Kedner for moving in, and to pack 43 going out there for HGR, down to 50 victory points. Another Firefly out here for Crown. Pop has just got one. Going back with the Panther. Second Panther, by the way, for Company Losers. Second Panther alongside a King Tiger. That is a lot of tanks. King Tiger down here to the Kedner and the Fireflies there. Veterancy 2. A quick Alpha Strike there completely demolishes HGR's Tiger 2. And we got Piets sending in from the north. Again, the lack of infantry makes it much easier for the Piets to move about doing what they want. They're going to clear out the bunker pretty quickly. Pack 3 of them in the Firefly here, though. Orbs are moving back. Foot as well. There's just not enough support for the infantry. The King Tiger, of course, getting out. We got the other one moving in, though. Orbs need to retreat now. King Tiger moving in there, murdering stuff away. Artillery called in on the Pack 43. Second Panther out there for Company of Losers, down to 30. In fact, on controlling none of the victory points here. Artillery raining down on the positions. Trying to change the south there, pushing back the commandos. King Tiger allowing himself to be flanked here by the Firefly. Pretty terrible stuff there. More support called in here. King Tiger with the Firefly. Second Panther moving in, they're going for the Firefly, down to 6 points. 6 points left, gaining virtually 3, but also right in front of them. There's a tank, and there you go. Firefly down, and with that, GG, game over. Game over. Loss here for the German army. A brutal battle. They were close at times, I think, to pulling through, but at the same time, they overfocused on the centre victory point, allowing themselves to be ground down there by artillery and just other things around the trying to and use manoeuvre and power to that way gain control of the rest of the map, bleed out the Brits, and that way crush them. So I think that was probably one of the biggest sort of tactical and strategic mistakes. It just focused too much in the centre, ignoring the rest of the map and the rest of the potential. They're allowing the British to build up a lot of fuel and a lot of resource, but also just grind down the Germans in much more sort of favourable engagement for them. Cost the Germans a lot of resources, and more importantly, a lot of infantry, which made it a lot easier than for the anti-tank infantry to go for the tanks. So definitely, I think some improvements there for the Germans. I mean, they started out reasonably well as the game progressed. Again, they just got too focused in the centre. The Brits, of course, had the same issue early on, but as they sort of realised the rest of the map, that they did better, that they could have launched larger flank assaults, sort of really devastate the Germans, I feel like. But overall, they did better. Could have gone for more mixed doctrines, but I guess they sort of got enough out of it. As for HGR, could have gone for his better use of his doctrine. There's some early machine gun bugs around here. Could have made it a lot easier to defend the northern half of the map when he did have it. So some improvements there are definitely possible. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe to the friends. Share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay and find some feedback in the comments section. And of course, a big thanks to my Patreon supporters, without which this episode would not be possible. So thank you all, and see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode